Hi there, Year 4. It's Friday Phonics and it's the last Phonics before the half term. We're going to move on to some commonly mistaken words. So let's have a look. Let's have a look where we are. If you remember last week, we were looking at, earlier this week, we were looking at 2, 2 and 2. And that is a proper homophone because they all sound the same. This week, we're going to look at some words that are quite often mixed up when children are doing their writing. We're looking at where, and we're also looking at where. So here we are, we've got where and so we've got where and where. And these are words that are quite often spelled incorrectly in children's work. So we're going to look at them today. Let's just look at these. We've got where and where and were and where. Have a look at those, pause the video and look to see if you can think of different uses of those words. See if you can think of when you might use them and maybe even a sentence that goes with them. And just have a look at the spellings and really think about whether these are words that you accidentally spell in the wrong place. So where and where particularly, and were. Quite often that gets put in, we get wheres for were, and this one, where, and think about what we looked at last time with the apostrophe and how that changes two words into one. Okay, just stop the video and then we'll go on to the next page. Let's look at this one. This is the word wear. And let's look at the sentence. I wear a uniform for school. My dad wears a suit. We're looking at the word wear here, W-E-A-R. Now, this is a tricky one because we've got wear is the present tense to put on clothes, okay? I wear a hat in the cold weather. And I want you to look at these pictures here and I want you to think for a moment of how you might use these pictures to help you with a sentence. So pause the video, have a look at the pictures and then we'll come up with something together. Okay, let's look at this picture. She is choosing clothes. Perhaps she doesn't know what to wear, or maybe she is wondering what to wear. So I'm going to write a sentence here to show that. I'm going to say Jenny can't make up her mind what to wear. And there we've got a contraction in there. Do you remember what a contraction is? It's cannot, can not, and the N's and the O has been taken out and the apostrophe has been put in there to show that to make the word can't. Jenny can't make up her mind what to wear. What to wear, and I'm just going to underline the wear there. Let's look at this picture. Did you think of anything else to say about that one? I'm going to say these are clothes I no longer wear. These are clothes I no longer wear. Remove my full stop and okay, you might put a comma there and write another part of the sentence because they don't suit me or because they don't fit me. But that is a sentence on its own. These are clothes I no longer wear. Let's just move that sentence to that picture to go with that pile. Let's have a look about this one. What did you come up with there? They are wearing their school uniform. Now look at that picture, that sentence, and we've got a homophone there as well. We've got they are wearing, okay, that's the present form of the word wear, their belonging to them. Do you remember that from last time? School uniform. let's think about these children. Okay. These children look to me like they go to Hogwarts. You recognise them as Ginny, Ron and Harry, and they are wearing capes. Their school uniform is a cape. They are wearing, they call capes? Let's call them capes, but I think they've got a special name. So let's have a look. Very good. So we've also got something to point out. Wore is the past tense of wear, because wear it's his present tense form. Jenny can't make up her mind what to wear. To wear is the verb. They are wearing their school uniform. They are wearing capes. Capes isn't the right word. I'm going to say they wear, wear their uniforms to Hogwarts School. So Hogwarts is capital letter because it's the name of the school, just like Swiss does for us. So just to point this out, the word wear becomes wore in the past tense when they've worn them. Okay, they are wearing their school uniform. Fred here goes home, he takes his school uniform off, and we might say he wore his uniform, but now he is wearing his, let's say, his tracksuit. Yeah, and that's not to be confused with the word wore, which is a homophone. And do you remember when we were talking about homophones, I said that lots of them are past tense of a verb. So as opposed to war, meaning an argument with between two people or some different countries. Okay, so where, W-E-A-R. I want you to pause the video now and write me a sentence that would go with one of these pictures that's different to my sentences about these pictures. Okay, see what you can come up with. See if you can remember, unlike Miss Maybury, who's lost her memory today, what these are called. They've got a special name. Cape isn't quite the right word. Cloak, cloak, of course, these are cloaks. And do you remember, you can say, Harry wears his invisibility cloak to move around Hogwarts unseen. That would be a good sentence. Okay, very good. Let's see how we get on with the next one. So this kind of wear, W-H-E-R, quite often has a question mark to go with it, but not always. Let's look at this sentence. Where are Dad's books? That is a question because we want to know where they are. Now, where, in this case, is related to place. And so quite often we ask the question, where is, where are, and there should always be a question mark with that. But also, where can be used as place in terms of a place that's not related to a question. So this is where I was born, and I might say in my sentence, Stourport on 7 is where Miss Maybury was born. Okay, it's not a question. If I said, where were you born? That would be a question and it would need a question mark, but this is a fact. Stourport-on-Severn is a town in the Midlands on the River Severn, and it's where I was born. So I can say that Stourport-on-Severn is where Miss Maybury was born. Billy, my son, was born. I can say Brighton is where Billy was born. Okay, so we're using where there to determine a place, but it can also be used a question about a place. So let's have a look at these pictures, and I want you to just see what these pictures might go and what sentences we could write about those. So pause the video and see if you can think of a question or a non-question that would go with these pictures. Okay, let's have a go. So this is a signpost, this way, the other way. I'm going to say, where is the town Shoreham by sea? Question mark. Where is the town Shoreham by sea? Yeah, that might be a good question to ask, and that could go with there. Is it this way, the other way? These are a question about this. I'm going to try, let's have another colour just to make it a bit more interesting. Let's go for, where are these flags representing? That would be, where are these flags from? Yeah, that would be good. Question. Now, so far, all of mine have been questions. I'm going to write this. Let's do a different colour. Let's see which one you think goes with this one. Oh. You will never guess where I found my shoes. Now, that isn't a question, it's a statement. You'll never guess where I found my shoes. But I might have made it a question by saying, where do you think I found my shoes? And that would be a question. So let's try another one. I don't know where I have put my pencil case. So that isn't a question. Hope you can see that. I don't know where I've put my pencil case, and that's a statement about the pencil case, because I don't know where it is. I don't know where the place is. But to make a sentence, I would need to put my maybe where at the beginning. So if it starts at the beginning, then it's more likely to be a question. Where is my pencil case? So if a sentence starts with a where, then it's likely to be a question. But if where is in the middle, it might not be. But I might be asking a question. So do you know where my pencil case is? Do you see? So W-H-E-R-E. So have a go with that. Have a go at writing a question with the word where in, and then see if you can write a sentence that has the word where in, where it's not a question. And then this one. Now this one is we, and it's are. Do you remember when we put those together, we end up putting an apostrophe in when we drop a letter? So on this case, we cross out the A and we put the apostrophe in and then the RE. So we become we're, meaning we are. Let's look at these sentences. We are all friends. We are all friends. We're all friends. We're eating our dinner. We are eating our dinner. We're eating our dinner. Can you see? We've dropped the A from the R and made it into one word using the apostrophe. Let's look at it here. We've got we are. If we drop the A and put in the apostrophe. I want you to do that now for me. Write 3 we are's. On each one, drop the A and put in the apostrophe. Well done. And then let's see if we can think of 2 sentences that go with these pictures. See if you can come up with something, and then I'll have a go to go with the picture. You decide what you think I should write and see if we've got the same thoughts. So, we are building a snow man. Snow person. That's just because we don't know if it's a man or a woman. But there's something wrong here. Yes, we're getting rid of the A and we're putting in our apostrophe. We're building a snowman. A snow person, sorry. I bet you didn't think I was going to write that. Very good. What about this one? We, okay, apostrophe because I'm dropping the A. We are running together in the park. No, together, let's change it, down the lane. What do you think of that? Does that describe the picture nicely? Can you think of some better ones? We are dropping the A, putting in your apostrophe. Now, we're and where are two different words and they're not homophones, but they're commonly mixed up and they're commonly messed up. And quite often children get confused and they forget the we are and they write we're or they write this. Let's just have a look. If I write it like this, what is it? Were. So they write were instead of putting the apostrophe in and it means something completely different. It's the past tense, isn't it? Were. Okay, so let's have a look. And this is the important thing. Were, on the other hand, gets mixed up. Were is the past tense of are. Okay, we are, were. That's different. They and I. And the reason I've included these is it's worth thinking about the use, the grammatical use of am, was, is and are. So we're just going to run through that a little bit. If I say we are eating our cake, that's happening now. It's the present tense. But if I was doing that in the past, I would say we were eating our cake. So I'm going to write a sentence here and I'm going to say they were eating chocolate cake yesterday afternoon. That just makes it really clear that it happened in the past. Okay, if they were doing it, if we're looking at them now, we would say they are eating chocolate cake. Okay, are eating chocolate. Okay, they are eating chocolate cake. Now, this is a mistake that you hear a lot. We am, I am, I was, I is. We need to get that grammatically correct. So this is when it happened, yesterday afternoon, so they were eating it, and are would be now. There's another thing you can do there. You can put in an apostrophe and make it there, but like we did last week. Do you remember that? So that ties into the work we were doing last week, but you don't need to, you can just leave it like that. Now, they, okay, they am doing hula hoops. Is that right? No, that's not grammatically correct. So if we were saying they were doing it now, we would say they are. So let's change it as a sentence. And we would change that to are. They are playing, let's say. Playing. Present tense. I've missed that. There we are. Present tense. It needs a full stop though. But actually, if we're talking about using were in our sentence, okay, I'm just going to move that over there. So we're saying they were using the hula hoop, yeah? So it's really important you start to really think about the use of the language that you're using and how you're showing that you know the right time it happened and the right tense structure. They were, I'm going to write hula hooping. I don't know if that's a verb to hula hoop, but I'm making it one for today. So they were hula hooping think perhaps we need to, there we are. They were hula hooping. And we've got the use there of were. So I want you to think about that for a moment and see if you can come up with 2 sentences that show the use of were as the past tense of are. Okay, they are, and it's related to the verb that's to be, which is to do something. Okay, so they were eating chocolate cake yesterday afternoon. They were hula hooping. They were having fun. They were being greedy. You think of 2 sentences that go with those pictures. Did you come up with something different? Yeah, I hope so. Okay, so do you remember we talked about are and were, okay, and how we use the word were? There are 2 pictures. Let's see if you can come up with 2 sentences that use the word were. Okay, I'm going to try they were reading, and must always remember why. They were playing. Yeah, you might have had something different. So we're talking of the use of were, okay, as a past tense. It happened in the past. If I was writing about what I can see now, I can say they are playing and they are reading. But the use of were, which is one of our common mistakes that children get mixed up a lot, it's the use of were in the sentence. Great, we've covered a lot in this short time, and here's one funny sentence where we're using all of them. Were, let's go through them. Were, I'll just use a pencil. Were, where, we're, and where. So 3 different versions of where and we're. They get mixed up. My friends were just telling me that we're, meaning we are, going to a party where we will have to wear pink wigs. That sounds like a fun party. Everyone's wearing a pink wig. Well, there you go. Can you see that sentence has got all 4 versions? 3 versions of the homophone we're, and 2 versions of were, and 1 where. Where, and where. Okay, 2 wheres and 2 weres and we's. They're tricky, they're tongue twisters, and quite often we mix up their spelling. So today is about practicing. So here we have some questions. If you don't want to print things off, you could just have a go at this. I want you to read the sentence and then decide which version of my spellings are going to go there. The first one, I am going to something my new red top today. I think that's going to be where. Which version of where is it going to be? You choose, write it down. Let's see if we're right. It's this version. I'm going to wear my new red top today. And I'm reading it again to check it makes sense. Next, I like to know where my red shoes are. I'd like to know as well. I'm going to change that. I'm going to change that to 2. I'd like to know where my shoes are. I think that's better. And again, we've put in this apostrophe because instead there's the whole word would. So I'd like to know where my shoes are. Remember, it's the place. So it's got to be that one. Next one. Let's have a look. We something having so much fun we forgot to do our work. That must be we were having so much fun we forgot to do our work. Do we think that's right? Good. Next one. Ellie and Frankie something singing this morning. Are they singing now? No, they were doing it. So again, it's this one. Next one. I think going to the park this afternoon. So there must be where. I think we're going to the park this afternoon. Is that right? Well, they're going to the park. That's not right. Oh, and must be there. That's a place. Was it that one? I think we're going to the park this afternoon. Where are you going to the park? That's not right. It doesn't like me doing this. I'm going to take that as wrong. I think it's we're, because it's me and my friend and we're going together. So we are going to the park this afternoon. So that must be that one. Question you've got here. Do you know where you were born? Do you? Well, we learned I was born in Stourport-on-Severn. So that's where are. It's one of those. Do we agree? After lunch, we're doing home learning. We are doing home learning. And so it must be like that. I think we're good friends. It's another one. I don't know where I've put my gloves. Yes, you're right. It's the place one. We got lots of sentences there with our wheres and our weres and our we's. Have a go at thinking of some sentences yourself. What you can do is you could have different colour pencils and you could decide, and then you could write your sentence. I don't know where my shoes are. I don't know where my shoes are, and then the where you could put in a different colour and put it inside. That's quite a nice way of helping you remember. So that's one of the things you can do as the activity today. If you get stuck, come back to this video. Or you could choose a sentence like, I like to pink. It's, sorry. It's easy to miss out letters if you're not careful. My favourite colour. Full stop. So I like to wear pink. It's my favourite colour. Do you see? I like to wear pink. It's my favourite colour. And you could do that. You could write some sentences, but choose different colours for the different words. So the activity is you can do that, what I've suggested, the coloured words. And there is also an activity here, which is on Google Classroom, but again, you could enlarge it and just have a go at working out, or you can write sentences with the different spellings of those words. The most important is that when you're reading them, you think, is this the right where, W-H-E-R-E or W-A-R? Is it a were, meaning the past tense of are? And is it we are contracted to make we're? Okay, basically three different sounds in those words. And the reason, as I say, I've picked them is that they are commonly confused and quite often spelt the wrong one is put in the wrong in a sentence. So the sheet there is on Google Classroom, but as I said, what's even better is to practice writing your own sentences, decide on 4 colours and show the difference. But for goodness sake, do not forget the contraction when it is a we are and that you are turning it into we're. Yeah, like that. Okay, so activity will be there for you. Have a good time doing it. It's quite a short activity today. Have a lovely afternoon. Bye.